full of optimism, as always. Now I'm going to set up a little event that happened earlier on this evening. First of all, I will let the speakers speak for themselves. It's around about 15 minutes. We can view it together. Hang tight and have a listen to this. And I know you're all chatting avidly in the comments section there. We've got our good friends over at Facebook. We've got our friends at DLive and Twitch here for now. For those of you viewing over on YouTube, you will get the re-uploaded morning version. You will only get the first 20 minutes of tonight's discussion. So whatever or wherever tonight's 20 minutes may fall in the broadcast, you will hear this. And that is when YouTube is going to leave the building. We are currently, as I don't have a timer, I will start that now. Now, for all you avid new viewers that have just joined us from Facebook, a welcome, a hearty ho, and a hearty welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. YouTube, you're on the clock now. Oh dear, we're on the clock. We're on the fucking clock. So tonight's event, there was a vigil held during the winter solstice by High Was the Irish First. Many advocates, many local councillors, many local personalities were invited, but many refused. But it seems one Sinn Féin, Paul Donnelly, advertised that he would not be attending a racist meeting. And by racist, he meant ordinary working class people, mothers, fathers, daughters, sisters, brothers, all one and all, advocating as a voice in their community, but no longer seem to be represented by the internationalists that Sinn Féin have become. Many still lost in the mire, thinking that they have everything of Ireland's interest at heart, when they're nothing but the advocates for open borders, which is in essence everything that is anti-Irish, because it will just wash us away as it currently is. You'll have seen the great news article, the exposure that is today, happened on Dublin bus, but we can't talk about that. It's an Irishman, freaky looking Irishman, but nonetheless, it's an Irishman. So hopefully the sound is going to work, and I will just transfer us over. And I'll let it play from here. Alice Woods spoke. There were two previous speakers. A great introduction from a great speaker, and I will leave a link, and I will actually drop the link into the live chat for DLive Facebook as the speech unfolds. I'll let you listen to it, and I'll drop the links as it speaks. But this is from our good friend Alice. Alice was attending, and she made these short words. But I encourage you to go and view the full vigil, which was lovely, held outside Fingal County Council, outside Blanchardstown here in the Republic of Ireland. Shut up, GT, and let it play away. Hopefully this works out. Let's have a listen. Sid, let me know you can hear this. 5x5 from the live chat. If I can turn that up.
Racist for saying Ireland belongs to the Irish, because it does belong to the Irish. How's the Irish? What's wrong with that? So Paul Donnelly and
no sound from Wayne. I can hear it. You're not hearing it.
Listen to Paddy's going to say. Ask Paddy to say.
Hey, well done, Al.
Really? And we have the National Party there as well, Paul. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, though, I don't seem to be able to get the sound here now, but I'm getting it through here, but you're not getting it, apparently. So look, as I can say, you can see there, Paul, I believe that's Paul from the National Party live chat. Help me out there. What's Paul's second name? And our good friends over at How's the Irish First. My apologies, live gang, and to all you new Facebook followers that have just joined us there. But in essence, I will have that sound rectified, and I will play it in its entirety. But I'll drop the link to it into the Facebook D-Link, D-Live and Twitch. I know Paul Quinlan I know it was Paul Quinlan, am I right? You're getting blotchy sound there, cut off. Sticky sound. Okay, I'm gonna let it play through because I think it's getting confusing. Sometimes you in the live chat there.
I'm gonna kick it off, and anyway. I know you're alright, don't you? Thanks, Alistair. The Irish world changes swiftly and greatly, and as we have, through our negligence, lost our connection to the divine. That awareness is the way of power from which all creation sprang. Spiritual deal that was the fuel and heart to our gallantry for decades. What God do we worship today? Who do we admire as our spiritual slave for decades? What do we allow rule over our lives from the shadows and system control that cripples us to behave and conform to this new ideal of wealth, power, greed, among other self-destructive emotions? What stepped in to fill this vacuum of spiritual surrender? What's become the new incentive for the Irish people and for our nation? What has captured the apparatus of influence and control? The answer is money. All pathways of influence have uniformly made its come. The obscenely wealthy among us have begun to use their weight to push the narrative of mass immigration and the eradication of our borders as a means of ensuring a ceaseless supply of dirt cheap labour and the one world, one people assault on our tiny nation well and truly begun. Almost as subconscious as the effort to breed, people across this nation began to accept that narrative, and the nationalist was driven to silence for worry of being marched to the gallows and excommunicated from society. Instead of us finding a method to support these individuals in struggling regions, to feed, clothe, house, educate and provide lasting solutions for them in the communities they've always called home, a deeply corrupt union of the press and political elites has begun to craft a narrative that the only way to help these people is to import and to have them live next door to us. In our oblivious, albeit well-intentioned charitable instincts, we have watched as well-funded non-governmental organisations have introduced droves of immigrants with no investigation or evaluation into Ireland. It's difficult to visualise, however, Ireland's people's altruistic instincts and our national assets have been seized to aid the never-ending demands of the morally corrupt. Money, power, fame, and an overall pursuit of a pure transcendence, a feeling of my world, I'm God. The result so far of this large-scale sociological experiment where scores of people seem arrogant to accept has been the sword and crime rates here and collectively to other Western nations. Are we inherently vicious or have we merely adopted these new traits? Most strikingly, rape and sexual assault have skyrocketed across all Western regions where such an experiment is taking place. Large sections of nations once deemed safe are now off limits to young women and most of the local population. We've seen an explosion of gang violence where factions of youths deem themselves above the law and above the common civility of our nation. To what deity do they worship? To who do they answer? Terrorist events have become normalised to the point that we hardly pay attention, or we do. Perhaps for a short while, a post on social media, it's all to satisfy the interests of oneself, to promote ourselves in a way that we seem to care, but we don't. We've seen an increased strain on the welfare system, and in particular housing. As is with uncapped demand and not enough supply, property prices have naturally soared to unobtainable limits at profound economic and social costs to the Irish people. A fact most seem want to avoid at all costs. Simply question this, you will be libelled. A sense of relation and commonality with one's neighbour has been replaced with restlessness. The adoration of one's ancestors has been muddled into distortion. Suicide and drug overdose rates are soaring. Once glorious and triumphant scenes are now littered with the faces of broken people. Is this what we are? A broken people whose principles would die on the altar of self-pleasure? Is this an epitaph even? A recognition that we squandered our inheritance that our ancestors so painstakingly fought and died to preserve and protect was involuntarily discarded through the hijacking of our good nature? What if the morally corrupt never pushed this modern practice of shuffling human beings between nations as if pieces on a chessboard, and we recognise this practice as destructive to the Puritan culture, and we understand the need for the Irish nation to remain as it once was, the stronghold of resilient people who throughout the ages have triumphed in the face of great adversity? What if we recognised and understood a nation trying to represent everything all at once ultimately ends up representing nothing at all? At the end of the day, policies that the government are implementing, I'm not going to name them, just government, typical politicians, not men of the people, have absolutely no interest for their home nation or their own people. The result of that, directly, people left die on the streets, and it only ends when we stand up and say no. That's all I have to say.
Well done, Paddy.
Bravo.
Paddy, I got it wrong.
Tell
Jeez.
us about the league.
Actually, I had a read here. One of my party members, the National Party, and we got an invite. We came because we're true nationalists. We got a read done up, and I'm going to go later eat now in the. Just give me a second because back wellies. Get that done.
Don't worry, Paddy, we'll watch the striptease.
Yeah, you watch them shows for me.
Thanks, Carol.
I'm going to watch Paddy lay the wreath out on the pond there. I'm presuming you are getting the sound fantastico. He's just walking through the water there, so I don't see any of the feet coming up. So the noise gate, there you go, you can hear the clapping in the background there now.
Well done, Paddy.
We've got a few minutes left there, and we'll see how it goes out there. I wonder if there's any prayers said. Or
Well done, Paddy.
If you want me to.
seems like our friend Herman is there as well.
No, you're right.
Look who came to join us, Herman Kelly.
Yeah, I
Welcome.
seen the thing advertised about how's the Irish first. And the problem in Ireland at the minute, it is full of what you would call hypernophobia, hatred. What people here, myself, the Irish Freedom Party, members here from the National Party, and good women like yourself who organised the protest looking for housing for their children in their own city. That it's about love of God, love of our country, love of family and of its people. So don't let any European Unionist, the culturally Marxist Sinn Féin, or people before profit, or all these rich boys with their Marxist crap talk down to you. You are the sons and the daughters and the grandchildren of people who proudly fought for our freedom against foreign occupation and foreign domination. And we will never give up in the struggle for Irish freedom.
Freedom. Well said. Thank you.
Now, at the minute, there's 9,000 Irish people homeless in Ireland. And what is the Irish government doing? Indemnifying big corporations like Pfizer. So they're indemnified. They're indemnifying, what else are they doing? Oh yeah, Facebook and Twitter. They want to bring in laws to close down free speech in Ireland. That we don't have the right as Irish people to speak freely among ourselves. And we will never accept that. And the only people who are not indemnified are people we are talking about here tonight. That home for, who we have prayed for, those homeless, those many homeless who have died in Ireland the last year. I think it's 57 in Dublin alone. Everybody here thinks acorns, big oaks start off from small acorns. We, over the last 2 years, have planted a seed of Irish people again looking to take control of our own country, and that Ireland is run for the benefit of Irish people. We're not here to house the world. So keep up a good fight, get your friends and your family involved, and let's get at it. Enough is enough.
Yeah. Thank you. Everyone for watching. Thanks, everyone.
Right, so folks, going to leave that there. There's some great words there from Herman, and great to see. All right, you lot, that's you've had your 15 minutes. Great to see the National Party and the Irish Freedom Party working together there. And you'll note that there was many there was a distribution of stickers there as well. You might see them on the horizon. I remind you, if you come to understand the stickers in question, if you send a self-addressed envelope to the Grand Torino PO box, we'll be able to distribute them nationwide, shall we say. So when you see them appear, you know where to go. You know where to go. Send a self-addressed envelope, PO Box 13179, and stickers will be dispensed. Want to get them out and across the length and breadth of the country. I think on the night as tonight, and such as that was there, as I said, a pivotal moment. Two political entities coming together and voicing and representing voices that, as I said to you at the beginning there, the internationalists aren't doing. And I remind you that the leader of the internationalists said during the pandemic that we need a global governance and a global reaction to this crisis that we are facing. Well, many of us and many people, I was speaking to some good friends today. Excuse me, I'm trying to draw up a photograph here. I have emailed it to myself and I'll display it for you there presently. But I was talking to another good friend, our good friend actually, James. James is also starting to stream on his YouTube channels over there. For those of you who are unaware, James Quinn is streaming on his own channel there. So go over there and make sure you show him his support for the YouTube channel. For those of you viewing on YouTube, I will leave links in the description box. And for those of you viewing now, head over there tomorrow and you'll find links to James's channel. Go over there and show him the love. He's a very smiley, lovely guy, and he's over there doing his own thing. I don't know where all these northern accents are coming from. Stargirl says the fight is on. Stargirl says the fight is on, running through. You get your spirit to fight from your ancestors and never give up. And I think you'll see if you're joining us from Twitch, Facebook, or D Live that you can see and moderate the live chat and have a general discussion yourself. And for those of you viewing anecdotally or just impartially just viewing us for the first time here, we have this little thing of ours where people congregate and have discussions and sort of clear the madness that is all around us at the moment. It's a place of welcome, and it's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Okay, YouTube, I think that's you.